So sound check. We're good. I think it sounds all right. We'll see.
Should I cover my feet?
Yeah, because no one. Listen, we've seen The Hobbit millions of times. We don't need to see those trotters anymore. It's painful for all of us. All right, so nice one. We finally got you. It took us. I've been doing this since January 2024. It's now December 13th.
2 full years.
2025, but I've got you. It took me flying to Houston and getting a really nice Airbnb, to be fair, to get you. So, yeah, did all right.
Welcome to the Crossing the Pond podcast, hosted by me, Gary Adair, where each week our guests will recount their own experiences of resilience and transformation, whether it's moving to a new country, tackling health challenges, changing careers, or breaking through personal barriers.
For this week's episode, I took time out of a recent jaunt to Houston to talk about the traditions, trips, and making an effort. My guests, Eric Hawthorn and Michael Freeman, unpacked their own holiday traditions from both Europe and here in the US, recounting previous experiences and discussing the hardship of navigating distances that can exist between family and friends during this time of the year. They also talk about the importance of making the effort to bridge those gaps and be present to keep relationships and memories going strong.
Well, it's coming up to Christmas, so it is our Christmas NFL trip. This is the 9th year that we've done it. Every time I mention this to somebody and tell them about this NFL trip that we've been doing for the last 9 years, it's been about the fact that, well, why? And everyone goes, and you go, well, why not?
Why not?
Right? I mean, think about it. The fact that we're in the same room. When was the last time we were together?
Last year.
The same time last year.
Yes.
But, so I think it's worth talking about trips. I think that's the one thing that it doesn't necessarily have to be all about you, Eric.
Good.
Because I know it's going to be a tough one, but it's more about trips and why it's important to make the effort and why it's important to stay in touch with people. And I know people bang the drum about me and say that I always try and do it, but selfishly, I enjoy it a lot more than people probably think. But I think it's worth talking about as well is the fact that it's coming up to Christmas. Like for you, Eric, you're in Phoenix now. I think Phoenix is. I always think Phoenix is the state. Phoenix is the state. You're in Arizona. You're in Tucson. Right?
I am in Tucson.
Okay, and that's changed because originally you were in New Jersey. But I think before we start anything, talk about Christmas. Like being from England, what's Christmas like for you nowadays? Because you've been here now for how long?
Close to 30 years.
And you came over similar sort of setup to all of us, right?
Yeah. Soccer, became a teacher, stayed. Yeah.
Early on, what was it like? What's Christmas always meant to you?
I have certain things about my mum and dad that I remember about Christmas. I don't know if I'd call them traditions, but my dad would get, my dad never really gets drunk, but he'd get tipsy twice on Christmas Day because he'd get up so early to put the turkey in the oven and he'd have a few glasses of sherry. So he'd get up and he'd already be a little drunk. And then he'd take like a 4-hour nap when the turkey was cooking and then do it all again. And we'd also go to midnight mass as Catholics. And my dad's a Protestant, so he wouldn't come to mass with us. But when we came home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, he'd cook a full English breakfast. So, that's still Christmas Eve. And we'd eat this massive breakfast, go to bed. So, yeah. And then, Boxing Day, we'd go to football.
Yeah.
We'd always go to football. And when I was a kid, we'd be in Newcastle for Christmas. We'd always go to my aunt's. So if Newcastle played at home, I have a memory of going to watch Newcastle Sunderland on New Year's Day, and I was a little kid. It's probably terrifying now when I look back on it. But that when I was in Newcastle, everyone would always say, "You go to the match. You go to the match." Everyone knew the game was on, and that felt like Christmas. So yeah,
I'm the same. Like I'm going back next week. I'm going to match on the 27th.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly thinking about it. You've been on this before, Michael. So you're almost like a friend of the show, which is amazing.
First time, long time? No.
First time, long time? No, just all the time. But what sort of things have you got hold of? Like, what have you bought? Because you obviously didn't marry into an English family, but brother-in-law is English. Does he ever bring over anything Christmas traditions from home?
The crackers. The crackers is a
I
huge...
forgot about crackers.
Absolutely.
I have a story about Niall wearing one, sweating through it. The lady came to the door and complained where we parked. And Niall's like sweating through this
The
big brown He told him to go away very nicely.
Did you ever used to do the thing with the crackers where the last one to take it off wins the money? Like whatever it is.
We don't win the money. It's just it's a tradition now that we have to have the competition. Who is going to keep it on longer? The size of Niall's head. It's stretched completely. So I have
Did
to
he make
manage.
Christmas crowns that big? Or does he have to like staple
It's
two of them together?
barely there. So, but he does a great job
It's on
trying.
the top, like the teller of Popeye.
He sweats through it. That's the best thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's cooking and doing all sorts.
Cooking, cleaning, drinking. It's a great time. So that's one of the things. Obviously, you go to bed wearing it, and you wake up in the morning. Who's going to lie better? Mine lasts until 4 a.m. I won.
What's the biggest difference, you reckon, between Christmas here? Because 30 years in America, right? What's the difference between Christmas here and Christmas in England that maybe Americans just won't grasp?
I think in England, everyone's off that week.
Yeah.
Everyone's off. And when you're young, it is very boozy for many days. Like Christmas Eve was the biggest, like just a big night out. I would go to pubs and then go to church when the pubs kicked out. And here it's much more, things close Christmas Eve at like lunchtime.
Christmas Day was always the Highton trip for us. Like we would never see our family in Highton. And then we would basically go around every single one of my dad's siblings on Christmas Day. And it'd be the same thing. You wouldn't have seen them for the whole year, but
Yeah,
my dad would make an effort to go around. Obviously don't do it anymore, but that would be the one thing that I remember about Christmas. Crackers, man. Can you even get crackers here now?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just show up.
Kings.
Let's go. Whatever pops out, we're there. Boom. That's mine. I'm winning.
For the longest time, like I'm 22 years now. This is my 22nd Christmas in America, or this time of year. And I think at the beginning, I used to go home all the time. But as I'm getting older and I'm a little bit more responsible, I'm not going home as much. But what's the one thing that reminds you or that you miss? Because over here at Christmas is different, I think.
One thing I miss, well, I mean, it's just your family. Even though sometimes family is difficult, it's like when you're a kid and whoever cooks, your mum's cooking has a certain taste, right? The gravy, the potato. So Christmas dinner has a certain feel to it, and it's not the same. So that is the thing. It's like that, just that comfort level. And my mum and dad still live in the house where I grew up, so you still have that kid memory, right? I sleep in my childhood bed when I go home.
Yeah.
It's about this big. The two matchboxes together.
Still fits.
Yeah, it's too big. Still feels like a king.
Big feet stick out the end.
But yeah, it's like, it just feels familiar. The Christmas tree is in the same place. My parents had a crib, like a Jesus and the Kings and all that stuff. And my dad had made it years ago, just like held together by nails. The same lights on the tree, just like stuff that was just part of your childhood is still there. And my mum would get so many cards, just endless. People sending hundreds of Christmas cards, and she would put them on strings. So there's like 10 cards on a string, all over the house. And
We used to do that. Did you do that over here?
My mom, she actually has, she gets wrapping paper, puts it on the closet door, red wrapping paper every year for 60 years, apparently. And she'll tape them to the closet doors. And that's just her tradition. Matter of fact, we just bought it at the Dollar Tree the other night.
Oh, yeah.
That's still going on.
Do you remember the old shitty decorations that go along
the
with
tinsel, and you'd have to just put a pin.
Oh, yeah, stick a pin in it and put it on the floor. I feel like, you tell me if I'm like, I feel like the big holiday over here is Thanksgiving. I don't feel like Christmas over here. Like the one thing that I couldn't get my head around when I first spent time here at Christmas is the fact that Christmas Day is like Christmas Eve. You might go out for a drink. There'll be a couple of people kind of wind down, only because of the day off after. You'd have Christmas, you'd meet for Christmas, maybe you'd have Christmas dinner. But then a lot of people go back to work the day after. Whereas in England, it's like Boxing Day is the sport day, horse racing and beyond, there'll be all sorts on. Like, that was the biggest thing for me going away. And, let's just say for a number of years, you couldn't make it home for Christmas for whatever reason, work or whatever, right?
So 12 years, Gary.
But in those 12 years, like how do you manage that, given the fact that you've got all this connection with home?
I just think you know, a bit debilitated by it. And then there was years when I was at Niles
Yeah.
for Christmas with the kids. You know, I'd go there on Christmas. One year I stayed there, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, I feel like actually I sort of tried to ignore it a little bit.
In those years where you couldn't travel back, would you ever feel an immense pressure to go back, that you needed to be there, given the fact that what it was like? Because again, for my point, well, I suppose where this coming from, like, there was a long time where no matter what happened, summer, whatever, I would always go home at Christmas because I felt like, to your point then, was the one time where I knew that if I went in the pub, everyone was going to be there and I would make an effort to be. And I remember not going back that one time. The first time I didn't go back for Christmas, I remember it being like a bit of a jolt because it wasn't the same. Did you ever put pressure on yourself?
Yeah. And I actually think it's harder for your parents.
Mm.
They might say the right things. It's okay. We know it's a lot of money, blah, 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 whatever. But I think not being there is really hard when the kids aren't there. And sometimes you forget that they're your parents and they still see you as little kids. So in the last however many years, you know, my brother, sister, and I have always we've been there for Christmas. And I can see that special for my mum and dad because there was a time where it didn't happen for many, many years. So I actually think it's harder for them. When you're away, you can I would fill it with something, right? Go to Florida or whatever.
You'd kind of surround yourself
Yeah.
with something that would take
Yeah.
your mind off it.
But they were having family Christmas and you're not there. So I think it's probably harder for them. But you do feel like, it feels like an obligation. But when you're there, it's great. You know, as you get older, you want to spend that time with your parents. So
How do you reckon those dynamics changing? Because again, when you're young now, I mean, let's just say when did you first come over? 20s, 20. So in your 20s, it kind of, but as you get older and dynamics change, like, you know, your sister's got kids, your brother's getting older, your mum and dad are getting older. Things change, don't they? A lot of dynamics change. How do you adapt to those dynamics as you go? Like, as in, you know, with people changing and different priorities because it's not the same anymore. Going back at Christmas means something completely different now, doesn't it?
well, I think when you're in your 20s, you think everyone's going to live forever. You just don't have that fear. And I didn't worry about like, oh, am I going to spend enough time with mum and dad? And in the last 10 years, that's different. And obviously, and Michael too, we're both in the same boat. We both lost a parent this year. So we'll have that, you know, be the first Christmas without that parent. So we were talking about this before. I don't have any regrets. Like I spent so much time with my parents in the last 10 years, but it does change. And you think, yeah, my dad's 91. So you think, okay, how many more Christmases? He's probably got about another 20, I'm guessing.
Just to be annoying.
Yeah, just to be annoying. Yeah. So no, but it's like, I think when you're younger, I didn't think about it in the same way.
Yeah.
Just you're more self-absorbed. You just think about what am I going to do for myself? And even when you go home in your 20s, you're like, oh, where am I going to go out with my friends? Where am I, and you get older, that priority changes for me anyway.
What about you though there, Michael? Because again, you haven't got the caveat of being from overseas and living away from home, but you know, your family dynamic changes over time. Your kids are a lot older now. How do you kind of manage that now yourself to make sure Christmas are you still trying to keep it the way that it was? Do you adapt with the times to sort of say, okay, this is where we're at now? What do you do to try and keep it, what's the word, on track?
The traditions had to change. Growing up, my Christmas was great. Obviously, my dad was really into it. December 1st, that first week, that weekend, whatever it was, he'd get outside, he'd decorate the house.
Like Griswold.
He was Clark Griswold. Lights everywhere, reindeer, trees, candles. It was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And we'd be freezing, and I'm out there trying to help him plug the main bed. He was Clark Griswold. Christmas was a huge thing in my family. And as Eric said, my mom would cook, and we'd have people come over. We'd have family come over, friends, and it was always good. When I grew up, I got married, had the children. It changed a little bit. Obviously, now we have to take the kids over to see the grandparents, separate grandparents. What really became an issue was when I got divorced. That was a hard transition because even in our divorce, we had to
play
spell it
nice.
out.
Oh,
We had to say that Christmas Eve was my night. Christmas Day was my ex-wife's night, or day, I should say. So we had to make that transition. And Christmas Eve for me, at that point, spending time with friends who we'd go to their house and we'd have the seven fishes. They were Italian family. So we'd have the seven fishes, and that became a tradition for my kids when they were younger. Every year was a great time.
What is that, to explain that to people in England or Ireland or anyone back home?
A traditional Italian Christmas Eve, basically, you have a huge dinner. That's the night you have the spread is laid out. You have seven fishes. Essentially, there's appetizers that included a fried calamari. It'll include some mussels. And then you'll have other dishes, separate fish, a lobster, a whitefish. You'll have shrimp. You'll have all fish that come out at different points to have a full dinner, a seafood dinner. And
You ever had that?
it's huge.
I just imagine 7 fish on a table.
Oh, no. Different courses. You're eating all night. You're having a great time. You're obviously drinking wine. You're celebrating Christmas Eve's the night. At the end of the night, you're opening up presents. And you're doing your
What? I would go to the Lawrences sometimes.
Okay.
And Sue, I think, is Polish. And but we'd have fish. It wasn't the Italian, but it was the same thing. Christmas Eve was a really big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of, well, obviously Italians do it. There are a lot of Latino countries that do the same thing on Christmas Eve. That's the big night. Certainly in Guatemala, Costa Rica, I know that.
Yeah, like at midnight, right? They open, or they do everything on Christmas Eve.
You do everything
Like
on Christmas Eve, and that's the big party. And then Christmas Day is you celebrate. That was the birthday of Jesus. That's the day you're celebrating. You're recognizing the reason for the season, so to speak.
And then back to work.
Yeah, depending on the day. So that changed a lot. And then, of course, getting remarried and bringing in the new tradition, the next tradition, and acclimating with my parents, my in-laws. Dick, my father-in-law, who passed away last year, he was huge with Christmas. And he had a large house, huge living room. So he was able to bring 30 people into the Christmas, sit comfortably, never a problem. So it's changed several times, the tradition. And this year, I'm worried. It's the first year not having Christmas with my dad. As Eric said, I'm the same way. I was fortunate that I was able to spend every Wednesday essentially with my dad for the past 3 years as he was getting sick and getting close to dying. Basically, I knew he was dying, but I was able to spend that time with him. That was important to me. And so I have no regrets either. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing that happened, but this is going to be a tough time. I know it. Thanksgiving was okay with me, but my mom is still coping. My dad's not going to be there for Christmas. It's the first Christmas in my lifetime. First Christmas for her. They were married for 64 years. So it's going to be different, but we're still a family and we're going to bring it all together.
Michael, do you think there'll be something, because I've thought about this with my mum, like, is there something you'll do at Christmas, like to honor your dad, like something that your dad did? Like, will you
Put the lights up.
Were you
Coming into Christmas on crutches.
In my defense for that, the last few years when he wasn't climbing up on ladders anymore, he had
You hired guys.
from the union?
he got out and he got this projector, I guess, that fires neon lights onto the house. So
You know what? Now I see it where you get it from. The man's a visionary. Like, he just changes. He adapts to the time.
he adapted.
Adapt
So
to survive.
That's tradition to live on. That's out in the yard now. My mom, we were out the other night. She's like, "Did you plug in the Christmas lights?" Yep. As soon as the sun goes down, they're gonna come on.
Sat in the front room.
Right.
It's just flying through the window right in the face.
Green and red lasers, filling up the room, filling up the house. It works out beautiful. My dad was, to me, his early days, he was larger than life. I have nothing but great memories for Christmas, and he was just that guy, you know. So I'm trying to be that guy. I'll never be that guy. But as you said, with the kids around, the grandkids, that's a big part of it. Is to have, you know.
Is it really starting to come back? Like, the older you get now, for both of you, does it really start to come back about like this home concept? About like, listen, it's not about where people are. It's not about where you are. It's about who you're with. Like the fact that you're going back and keeping up with these traditions, because this starts popping up a lot. The more I think about it and the more I talk about it, like, what is this idea of home? You know, unfortunately, your mom's not going to be there. Your dad's not going to be there, but they are going to be there, aren't they? Because you're in that environment with those people in that setting, doing the same sort of daft things, telling the same shit jokes that you get out of a cracker, wearing the same stupid hats. You know what I mean? That you wouldn't, and then you've now by default married into that.
Well, that's
madness.
the best part. My dad is the only person who I know who has a head that's larger than Niles.
That's fucking impressive.
That crown wouldn't fit on his head. So he'd look at it. No, throw it out.
He sat there like looking like fucking Lauren Hardy with his little hat on his head. But you know what I mean? Though? We're one of those families that have a big family, but the family never really got together for whatever reason. So it would always be like my brother, my youngest brother, my mum, my dad, and me.
And the same for me.
We would literally make Christmas dinner. We'd eat at the table and like as fast as we can, because in our house it's a competition, and then we just go and sit and watch Only Fools and Horses, and that would be it. I'd eat a full tin of roses, and just, you know what I mean, like, and smash out. But that to me is Christmas. Like everyone has that thought, like, and anyone, you know, when you listen now, if anyone listens, watches, they'll have the thoughts in their head, like what Christmas means to them, and about this whole thing about being home. The older you get, it's about making an effort to be somewhere, isn't it? Like making an effort to go home. Like you could stay in Tucson this year. You could let things happen around you, and you could kind of go with the flow. But you're gonna make an effort to make it as good as it gets now.
You know, like you always need something to look forward to, right? So I think I look forward to going home. For my dad, I know that he's looking forward to me being there, my brother being there, seeing his nephews. So it's more about, like, it'd be easy for me to stay here. You know, the weather's nicer here. I play golf, blah, blah, blah. But I know my dad's looking forward to it. And that's what's important, that he has something to look forward to.
And that's his idea of home, innit? Like that's his idea of, like your ma must be the same. I mean, I can't imagine what she must be feeling and what your dad must be feeling at the moment. But like just having that comfort of knowing that people are coming back. Like with that as well though, have you ever toyed with it yourself about, like, you talked about before about like your parents getting older, people getting older, things progressing as things go. Like it's easy, isn't it, to do your own thing, and but sometimes you've got to do things for other people because you know that, you know, it's a family thing and it's in the best interest.
You know, I've thought about moving home. I wouldn't, but I've definitely thought about it. And, you know, Kev, who we all know, and so Kev's uncle lived in America for a long time, and he moved back to Ireland. He was, you know,
this is Uncle Christy, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're the Irish son and you're single, you're the one expected to. So he lived, you know, I think he lived in White Plains. And he worked in New York in construction, and he just went back, and that was his job. He had to go back, and I think even for Kev, I know he went back because of Conlon, but I think part of Kev is to be
close.
Yeah, you know, he feels this need to be there for his parents. God help him if Kev's the one looking after him.
No. They're looking after him.
I've thought I wouldn't, because my sister and brother are there and they're great. But I definitely have that guilt. Yeah.
Big part of it for me is I think about being a child, and I have my Christmas wish list. This is what I want. I need I want a bike. I want a big wheel. I want a racetrack. I got all that. My parents provided all that for me. So I woke up Christmas morning. I had a great time.
Was this last year?
That was 3 years ago. I eventually got the Atari that I wanted. I didn't get it for Christmas.
I was going to say at 57, it's probably good that you don't hold on to these things.
Eventually got the Atari. He bought it last year himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But to me at this point, as Eric said earlier, it's about my parents now, or my mom at this point, that this is what's important to her. This is her Christmas gift, is to have the family around, to have everybody back. That I can give that gift to her. I gave my dad a tie. I gave my mom some socks. I had nothing. I didn't know what I was doing when I was a kid. So that wasn't fair. Now I can give them something that's important. So as an adult, that's, I think, more important to give of yourself, give your time, give your feeling of love and commitment to your family. And that's what tells them that they did a good job, I think. And it's a reassurance. And so I'm happy to do it. I wouldn't waste a moment, especially at the holidays. But to go back to your thing about Thanksgiving here in the States, is that's a time to travel where you can visit family, whereas Christmas is more that individual family unit. So the kids are waking up Christmas morning. So you're not going to go. My family, my parents' family is from South Carolina. So my mom her sisters wouldn't come up here because they had their own kids that they had to have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. So we didn't travel on Christmas. But Thanksgiving was when everybody got together. It was huge. It was still huge. It's beautiful.
Michael, I used to get my dad ties and socks. And I asked him, I was like 15, I said, Dad, what are you getting me for Christmas? And he said, ties and socks. I said, I don't want ties and socks. And he looked at me and said, neither do I. So that's the last time I bought him ties and socks.
Golf gloves. I used to get his dad golf gloves. I haven't even got him a present this year. I have to figure that one out.
Your visit, Gary, that is the gift.
Trust me, they don't need me around the house. Like, I'm literally there for 3 days this year. But this is another thing. Well, for me, it is different dynamic because I fly back and split time between Essex and Wigan and Liverpool and whatnot. But it's different in it. Have you got any funny stories from going home?
We went to, I still go to this pub. It's called the Royal George. We went there, we were 16, 17, 18. Just that was the pub we went to. And my friend, Andy Mortlock, who's passed away, Mortlock is a legend. After he graduated university, he took over the pub, just became the landlord. And he's just a drinker. And so I remember I come back from America. I'd been in Florida, so I was all tan, feeling big time Charlie. And it was Christmas Eve. And he said to me, Eric, the girls who work behind the bar, they're going to go around the pubs for 2 or 3 hours, and then they'll come back by 8 o'clock. Because you couldn't get behind the bar and pull pints. And I'd been behind the bar. So I said, sure, yeah. So it's just me and him behind the bar. The bar, as you know, Gary, what the pubs are like.
Yeah,
it is
like 4D.
And it was packed.
Did you get a step stool?
3 things happened. 1, the girls never came back. So it was just me and Mortlock. 2, at one point, a fight broke out. And a guy smashed the glass and someone was, Mortlock was like, get over the bar. I was like, I'm not fucking getting up.
You're like me trying to put that parasol up today in the pub.
I was like, yeah, what? I couldn't have like Gordon Strachan trying to get over the bar. and then the bar had there was a middle bit that divided the bar, and you walked, it's just like a sort of horseshoe. And because there's 2 of us just trying to serve pints, we just ran out of glasses. We hadn't gone across the bar to clean up. So I was just, when I take an order, I would just walk around to the other side of the bar where they could see. I would just take 2 dirty glasses off and fill it with beer. And Mortlock was just doing the same thing. And we just, everyone in the town was said the shits the next day. I spent my Christmas Eve. It was like, and I was probably 22, thought I was going to meet girls or tans. I did a shift down the mine. So that's my memory. That was one Christmas. That was, yeah.
Yeah. And we talk about Christmas because, again, it gets harder and harder as you get older, making the effort to go back. I mean, to be fair, we were talking about it in the Uber from the airport before. How much money does it cost to get home now? You're flying from Tucson.
And it's a complicated flight because I had to.
Yeah, because you got to go, Atlanta and then Heathrow and then Heathrow to Bristol.
Yeah, on the National Express.
On the bus. That's like a day trip, isn't it? You should document that. But how much is that going to throw you? $2,000?
It was 19 something.
See, that's the thing as well. I finish work on the 23rd, but can't fly on the 23rd. I'm flying on the 24th because it's $500 cheaper to fly on Christmas Eve just to go back for 6 days. Even that now is just getting ridiculous. The amount of time it costs and the amount of money that it's costing people to go.
Well, I think working in schools,
that's another thing.
We're lucky because if we worked in real jobs, we'd like Michael.
Yeah, the hardest working man in show business over here.
I think if we we had 15 days holiday a year, it'd be really hard to go home and spend all. I think that would be. I think people who have jobs that don't have the vacation that we have, it must be really difficult.
Yeah, I can remember being like McKelvey though. McKelvey will go home second week in December and not come back until the second week of January and just have an absolute jolly up for 6 weeks. I don't know if I could do that anymore. Financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, I don't know if I could handle that anymore. But to go on to this trip, right? Where did this come about?
We did a few college trips, but not as a tradition. We never flew. We just got in a car and drove somewhere.
It was Kev was turning 50.
Kev was turning 50. He had a little son. Con.
So he was on the wall.
Cash, and he would have just said, "I'm not coming." So we said, "We'll stitch him up, and we'll buy him a ticket, a flight,
we pay for the hotel,
the game, and we'll give it to him on his 50th birthday, in front of his girlfriend, so she can't say no."
That was it, yeah.
Which we did the same for Niall.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what we did.
And then what was cool about that trip was when Kev and I first lived here, Adam, Austin, it's like in 96 maybe, 2 years, UK elite, lived in Morristown. Adam and Kev went traveling in South America, but Adam had gone back to England, married his high school sweetheart, moved to Australia. And Kev and I hadn't seen Adam in 10, 15 years. And Adam was on the group chat. We'll just say, we'll throw it out to a bunch of people. And Adam wrote back, well, in Australia, every 7 years as a teacher, you can take this mini sabbatical.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to come, which was mind-blowing that he would come.
Yeah.
And so...
Because he didn't know any of us, but he didn't know us. He knew you.
And that's me and Kev, yeah. That was it. And then that's one of the best moments in my life, I think, because Kev had no idea. And then Adam in Denver just tapped him on the shoulder and went, all right, mate?
The video, Kev's first reaction,
video, yeah.
Kev's first reaction was like, what the are you doing? But it was that first trip
was
to
Baltic,
get to Denver. It was minus. They'd never had this much, because it doesn't really snow in Denver. It's just cold, isn't it? It's winter.
It has records that week. I've looked it up since, because I told someone, I was like, am I just making this up? And it was like the coldest days in.
It was ridiculous. Like, so we get to Denver, we land in a blizzard, somehow managed to get an Uber. We're going into the city. By the time we got to Denver, the snow in the street was about a foot on it, and there was cars just banging. Somehow we got to this hotel. We're all wrapped up. A couple of lads were already there because they were flying from different places. And you know what it's like when the snow comes in really quick. Anyway, we're all sat there. Adam comes in, Kev meets Adam, and then the day after we go out, and it was minus 17 Fahrenheit. And Bob is walking through the streets of Denver with a pair of Converse on. Like, we go to the game Mile High. It was Patriots Broncos was the first game went to. You would literally get a pint, right? You'd take a swig of your pint, you'd put it back down again, you'd pick it back up again, and it was frozen solid in the glass.
It was
you just like that, and it'd just go and hit you in the face, and you're like, all right. So that was Denver. We talk about things about Christmas before, about your family, but for us personally, as someone in a different country and just friends in general, like making the effort for somebody is everything, because you don't know what's going on. Everyone's struggling with different things, right? Everyone's in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, all over the place. Just getting them together for that one day a year or one weekend out a year, I think sometimes can make all the difference. And it doesn't, listen, we come on these Houston trips and whatever it is, but just getting people together is everything. But we just decided to make it a thing, right? The year after, I think we went to New Orleans. And that was, again, it was me, you.
Yeah, Bob,
yeah. Kev. There was 4 of us that year. The first year there was 7. The second year there was 4. We get to New Orleans on the first night. It was mental. Like, so Bob managed to get us this hotel right on Bourbon Street, this nice hotel. So we check in, we throw our bags up, we go outside on the street.
First one was the girl falling backwards. And we saw all the
girl just went and just put a full show on in the middle of the street.
And then next one was the baseball slide.
Yeah, so then we walk around the corner. Next thing, we're walking down this main street where the trolleys go past. This geezer just comes out of nowhere and just slides into somewhere, and then some other fella comes behind him and goes, "Safe."
He tried to run across when the light was changing, and then he just tripped. And he slid in front of us.
And because it was like the marbly kind of tiles, he just went across the thing.
We hadn't had a drink at this point.
And I'm just going, what are we doing here? Like, this is mental. And then the last one was the girl. She'd gone down the wrong side of a hot dog cart. She was so drunk that she got stuck behind the construction netting. And she was in a hole.
She was in the hole.
So she's like under the thing.
She didn't understand.
She couldn't work out where she was.
She didn't know how she got in. She was on her phone. Oh. She didn't know how she got in the hole.
And like, remember the taxi driver? We got on a taxi, and there's like, when you go to New Orleans, there's like voodoo everywhere, like, right? It's like voodoo signs. And we didn't realize that voodoo was an actual thing and people believe in it. So like, Bob's from Yorkshire and he's doing like the Vic and Bob thing. Do you do voodoo, you? Like, yeah, have you got voodoo? So we're in this taxi, and then this fella's going, hey man, this is like a real thing. Like, we're basically making fun of his religion while he's driving us in a taxi, which was horrific. I would like to do that more. I think, we talk about New Orleans then, but we've done them all. Like, the point of it is, it's not about where we go. It's about who you're with. Like, we've been doing this for 9 years now. And some years we've been to Nashville and there's been 12 of us. We've also been here this weekend. There's 3 of us. We suffered through that Jets getting mauled at the Dolphins a couple of years ago, 30-0.
The funny thing is, I couldn't tell you I couldn't tell you any of the teams we've seen. Only the home teams, because I have zero interest. But I had such a great time. Like last year, well, you two and your posh points, but last year with the tickets, it was the greatest discovery ever when I said to Michael, well, just look on StubHub, Michael, and see if there's, and Prager wasn't in the conversation. So when we sat like 10 rows back from in the like $1,000 tickets, and Prager said, I don't think these are our tickets. Shut up, Dave.
That was the best part. We went in there all fully intended to root for the Cardinals because we're in Arizona. Yeah, with home team, it's going to be great. We're surrounded by Seahawks fans. Which? No, we're Seahawks fans.
Well, and
I snagged that starter jacket off that woman.
oh yeah,
She was significantly bigger than me, by the way. That jacket was hanging off me.
Well,
to put it in context, though, what we did was, should we give this away? Everyone knows why. You go on StubHub, you buy the cheapest tickets, you go in the second quarter, you look on StubHub
We
again.
weren't even in the second quarter. It was early in the first quarter.
You find the most expensive tickets in the ground that haven't been sold
because nobody's buying it.
because no one's paying attention and no one's buying them. So you just go and sit in those seats, and that's exactly what we did.
Well,
We were 7 rows from the front.
Michael, I'd say, is a put together human, owns a house, couple of cars, with launders money.
Officer of the law.
And Michael sets up, we're very excited to go to the all you can eat and drink
Oh my God, the biggest
tailgating.
shop ever. Yeah.
Michael, detective plot over here.
I got scared.
It's great when the detective gets scammed and we're
Yeah,
wondering how
exactly.
he's looking for an address that doesn't exist.
The address existed. There was no sub-address.
There was no nothing.
Go to this number, Westgate.
I think it's the
Massive-
first time I've ever seen you flustered, Michael. It's like, I'm never here yet.
Here's a question though. Here's a good one then for you. We could digress and go on about like all the mad. There is some funny stories. Like we can talk about like icebergs in Nashville. We could talk about
We will.
cowboy hats. We can talk about we can talk about DC. You went in DC. We can talk about Kev doing river dance in a hotel bar that overlooked the White House. It was in his Mayo top. All sorts of stuff. But I think the biggest thing is the fact that whenever we say to someone, like today, right, we met an old player of mine from a number of years ago. It's great to see him down here. But like we tell him what we're doing. Like we'll go out tonight and we'll tell people, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, we're down for the NFL. Why? And they're like, well, we do it every year. We get everyone together. Why? Why has this become a thing every year where it's like, listen, this weekend, every December, every single year, we're going to go somewhere. If you can come, you can come. If you can't, you can't. It's fair enough, but like we try and keep it going.
So we talked about my dad, right? So the NFL trip is just a vehicle to put us in the same room. And so, I was telling you before, Gary, about the road trip with my dad. So like when I was a kid, my dad took me everywhere in England, wouldn't take us abroad. Well, we've seen England, and so I've been to every freaking castle and like every museum. And when you're older, you appreciate it. When you're 10 or 11, Disney seems way more appealing than Stonehenge. My dad started mentioning places he's never been.
In England.
In England. So every time he mentioned somewhere, I would just put it in my notes in my phone. And then I said to my dad, we're going to go on a road trip. And my dad.
This is after your mum.
Yeah, after my mum passed. My dad's 90. So this summer we went on a road trip. Me and my dad, we went to see Charles Darwin's house outside of London. It's great. We went to a place called Leeds Castle, which is not in Leeds. It's a beautiful place. We went to Cambridge University, to the cathedral. We'd never been. It was friggin' beautiful. But I think as much as the places are great, it's just like you have this like I'm just in a car with my dad. He's telling me stories about the war and my mum, and it's just a vehicle that it gives you a purpose for the day, right? We're gonna go here. Yeah, it was an amazing trip, and I was saying before, like, I'm not laughing at my dad here. My dad, he's 90. He wears a nappy at night because he's out of his routine, and it's just like you forget that. Saki always told me your parents will always remind you that you're their child. They'll always, like, my dad would just be like, okay, turn right here. I'm like, we're going here. And he just tells me what we're doing. even though he doesn't know where we are. But so he's just like, he's your dad. And he's like, that's what we're going to do. Eric, we're going to stop at this. I'm like, okay, I thought I was in charge. And in the mornings in the Airbnbs, he wouldn't know where like the trash can was. So he would just give me this diaper, put it in my hand and say, Eric, deal with that. And it was just, I'm confident my dad cannot listen to a podcast, but it was also a beautiful thing. It's like, all right, I'm with my dad. I'm his little boy. I'm helping him.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
It's just, so these trips are just a vehicle. Like, I haven't seen you in a year and I miss it. I miss the banter. Takes just a few seconds off the plane before we're laughing at each other. And
Oh, yeah. Oh, we were laughing at you before you got on the plane, by the way.
I was like, this scruff sat in the back of the plane. No danger.
so it's just a vehicle. But it's like, for me, as I've got older, you have to make the effort. Yeah, you have to,
You're new to it as well, though.
Yeah,
like, you must have. Like,
but I've known Michael a long time, but I
Yeah.
know him better now
Yeah.
because of these trips.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, though, like you've seen this as well, right? You've seen this develop because you've been coming for the last 4 or 5 years, 5 years now, right? It's like, is this something that you relate to? Is this not just an expat thing, is it? This is a thing, like,
For me, the importance of this is that it's fun. I travel a lot, obviously. I was in Phoenix 2 months ago. I couldn't.
like,
I'm working. That's
and I
the work
live
I've
in
got to-
Phoenix, Garen.
apparently so. Fuck's sake.
It's 2 hours away, or it's going to be a hassle, whatever. And I've got things that I'm doing at this conference. I'd love to hang out with Eric, but I wouldn't be able to do that. For me to come on this trip, this is just a blast. I'm not working. I'm not thinking. I'm not in charge because Gary handles all that. He does the thinking. He does all that stuff. And we just follow Gary and have a great time. The best part of it is I have a great time and I make sure that this is something that's part of my year. This is the one trip wherever I go, and I love where I go. But it's not the same unless I'm with guys that I can just relax with and hang out with and have a laugh. The one was the first or second Nashville trip that we went when Eamon came over. Anyway, Eamon coming over, same thing. It was Niall's birthday. We want to make sure that he's able to go. We got to set it up so his brother's coming from England to meet us in Nashville. Is a surprise. It's going to be great. His wife can't say no because it's a wonderful gift, right? It was beautiful. We had it all set up.
I was fuming at that woman when she told me my credit card was declined and the manager was coming.
We get the hotel.
I remember.
There was 9 of us, 10 of us at that point.
Yeah.
Coming out of the airport. We're all Uber together, 2 different Ubers. We get there. I was in the Uber with you. We were the second one. We show up, and Gary is told that his credit card that he'd set up is not going through, and he's pissed. She's got to go talk to the manager. Man in black hat, cowboy hat, walks, moseys out. It's Eamon Caldwell.
And then he come out, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, yeah." Like, it's like, all right,
All right, Eamon.
Eamon.
It's funny that we're talking about like going back for Christmas for your parents. Eamon had not told his mum and dad he was coming to surprise Niall because he knows his mum would not be able to keep it a secret. So he literally didn't tell her. And then Eamon and Niall FaceTimed
Oh yeah.
their mum and dad.
Oh, yes,
The first
yeah.
pub. And you could see their joy
That was
in seeing the boys together. So it's like, sometimes you think you do it for yourself, but it's like it brings that joy to the other people.
And when you think about it, that night when every picture we took, the 2 of them went back to their early childhood. As soon as it was time to take a picture, they got up on the tippy toes. So we told them that will never end.
Like, I'm very simple. Like, that's like, I'm like that. Like, the reason I like doing this stuff and I'll pull the strings and I'll try and get people together is I really enjoy it because I know, like, there's certain people who don't want to be coerced into doing things. Like, it's easy to get you to come. It's easy now to get you to come. There's other people it's tough. No, but like, but I really enjoy seeing, because I know that when people get together, they're going to enjoy it no matter what. Like, there's people, you meet people in this group, like people come into the group, like you're in the group now a little bit more. Steve is in the group a little bit more now. And people start getting on with each other. I just love all that, like the whole connection piece of it as well. But it's everything in it. It's so important.
You're able to meet people and you're just fascinated with that time. Everybody's relaxed. Tiggy.
Oh my God.
Great example.
That was amazing.
I still can't explain Tiggy to this day. I don't know what it was, but we just made up these stories that Tiggy was capable of anything and everything in the world. He would just show up and he'd be there. He was like a mystical figure.
How funny. The time when like we all didn't realize he had WhatsApp because he is so mystical. And we're putting in the WhatsApp like Tiggy was the first man on the moon. Tiggy invented Latin, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden he took a video of himself playing the piano to some amazing level. And we're just like, first of all, we was like, that's amazing. Second of all, we went, oh shit, he's got a phone.
But his phone, oh, he won't pay for service. His phone only works with Wi-Fi. So the night when he didn't come home, like super, super late, because he didn't have the ability to get himself an Uber.
Because he's outside.
And he'd walked the wrong way. And he just refused to pay for anything. So he'd rather walk the streets of Nashville for 10 hours than get in a cab.
That was a great trip.
So
walk in, 10 Corona every part.
That was it, yeah.
Phenomenal.
It was excellent, wasn't it?
I've been on a trip with Tiggy where on the plane, he took out his little shampoo, shower gel, moisturizer, and it was all full of alcohol.
Yeah, booze. You're talking about the man that hollowed out a loaf of bread so he could take the bladder out of a wine box into a cricket match.
He brought beers to the airport
Yeah.
at Newark, so we didn't go through security. We sat on like the curb drinking Coronas of whatever before we went through security.
Like we're all in different places. There's a lot of us, right? We're scattered all over the country. We're back in England. What happens if you don't actively fight this? Like if you don't fight the distances and you let people grow apart, because it's easy to stay connected on the phone, but that's almost like second nature now. Oh, we're all friends because we're on group chat. Why is it important to get together and make the effort? Case in point, I'll give you an example. When I go back to England next week or 2 weeks, because at the moment you can't try and do everything anymore. It's too much scrambling, not enough time. I'm going to be out on this day in this pub at this time. If you want to come, brilliant. If you can't come, it's no hard feelings. Life gets in the way. It's all right. But why is it important that you do stuff like that? Why, I'm sort of asking a rhetorical question because I know the answer, but why is it important that you push back against the fact that you are so geographically far away from each other?
I just attended my 40th high school reunion, and Summit, for whatever reason, people leave after graduation, after college. They go. I stayed in Summit, but I only see them at the reunions every 5 or 10 years. And these were people that were my best friends. I grew up with them, and I remember graduating high school. I'm never going to see them again, but I do see them. That moment to make an effort, someone coming from, one of my really good friends comes up from Virginia. I only see him at funerals and a reunion, essentially. And I always tell him, I'm coming down. He'll say, I'm coming up. We don't do it outside of that. It hurts. It really hurts. This is the man I love. We grew up together as brothers, and it's just like, why can't we make that effort? Because life gets in the way. So this trip, because it's already set, I put it in the calendar. I know that it's going to happen. I don't have to worry about anything else. I shut everything else off. This trip is the one I absolutely make. And you guys are doing the same thing. I think it's important that we set it aside, because this is for us. This is to me, this is solace. This is cathartic. This is everything that I need to make sure that my year ends perfectly, and I can start the next one. I know next year we're going to do it all again.
About you, like it's one thing to say, listen, it's okay. It's one thing to say Happy Christmas to somebody, or it's one thing to say Happy Birthday, or how are you getting on, mate, or and we've got friends who are struggling. We've struggled ourselves at certain points, everyone, right? But why is it important to actually be present?
I think my find it's hard to believe, Gary, but I'm not necessarily the best person at keeping in touch.
That surprises me, Eric.
So, and I don't like the phone. So when I, these trips, going home to England, all that stuff, someone asked me the other day how long I've known you, and I didn't know. I said, it's at least 20 years.
Mm.
Right, it's at least, and then you start to think about, bloody hell, Gary is, like, I've seen you go through a lot, you've seen me go through a lot, good and bad, and sometimes, in the pace of life, you forget the strength of the connection, and when I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago on the phone, like, it was a stark reminder to me. It's like, bloody hell, like, Gary and I go back a long way, I need to be better. But and knowing I was coming here made me feel really good about it.
Mm.
And it takes me 2 minutes to be in your company for all that to come back. And I think, to your point, like, it can get lost in a WhatsApp group, right? It's funny and it's nice to be in touch, but when you're together, you remember you have this common history together. Like, you know, you and I, for you, Parker House,
Yeah, all sorts.
you know, that little red car you had,
Fucking hell. It's great.
that hair you had.
Yeah, that's I basically erased that from my
You
memory.
know, but like,
no,
you know, like Gary, I remember, like, you know, all sorts of things. I thought about lots of stuff. But, you know, like, you know, you came coaching at, what was the club called? You took over the team.
Oh,
'cause I was
Rangers.
stepping back. You know, just
New
like
Jersey
all
Rangers.
these little things in our history, years at camp.
That was 17 years ago, you know.
Yeah, you know, and you forget you have this common history and you can lose touch with that. And then, you know, back to Niall and Eamon, you put them in a room together and they're 13-year-old boys again. And so you have to do it. You know, when I go home at Christmas, I'll see my friends, my school friends. They won't have seen each other in one place since I was there in the summer, which makes me sad, but they all have their lives going on. So
Yeah.
I can't get them organized to go on a trip.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, that's why you almost need the annoying little person, don't you?
Yeah, no.
That's
Yeah,
why we love
no, it's good.
No, but like,
it's
that's
really good.
But it's true though. Like, there's a value to being around people. Like, I'll always go and see Kev in the summer. If I'm back in England in the summer, I'll always go and see Kev for 2 days.
I think it was very important for us during COVID. Obviously, we were playing golf every week. We did that Wednesday. That was what we were going to do.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun. And COVID ends, go back to our lives.
The COVID was terrible for me.
Think about COVID though, even it is not like, and talk about trips, and this is the whole point of trips, right? It's not about like just talking about shite, but like, you know, or being present and being there is like, the golf was brilliant because we were there.
Yeah.
The quiz nights and the stuff on Zoom was great because there was people from all over the world coming on those things.
But those things, they then had this lasting history. Like, so when we played golf, did COVID, and Niall would bring beers, and we wouldn't have beer to the 6th hole, that bench, you know exactly.
Yeah.
So I said to Tim, I said to Michael,
hey.
I said, you know, when I play golf, I have a few drinks. And he basically said, well, you wait to the 6th hole. Like, because that is, and I say, I actually do. Most of the time, I won't have a drink to the 6th hole. There's no real rhyme and reason to that tradition.
That's the way we started.
But
it works. No, it's true though. Like, that's it. Oh, it's that thing again. All right, what have I? Hang on, don't tell me.
Is this where we name and shame people aren't here?
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Because I've missed many trips, so I'm not in any.
Okay, here's one for you then. Based on the back of what we do now with this trip, what have you started to do? Like, and what do you plan to do moving forward that you know is going to make things better? Like, talk about the thing with your dad this year, right? That's an event. Is that something that you would carry on with, say, your brother or your sister, or like going on trips and just spending more time? Like, do you see now the relevance of being in that situation with your dad? Like, those memories you're not getting rid of. Like, not that you want to get rid of them, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's not going anywhere. And that's something that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't have made the effort to go and do it. That's something that people say at the end, like, you know, when people aren't around anymore, you go, for fuck's sake, I wish I'd have done that. Like, is the things that you want to do now moving forward that you've kind of picked up just from doing things like making trips or making connections or carrying on traditions or whatever it is?
I would like, well, with my dad, I was walking today, speaking to my dad, and he mentioned a place he hasn't been to, and I've already put it in my notes. And I said, Dad, we can go at Christmas, or we can go next summer. We'll go on a road trip again for as however many years he's still around. Something I thought about a lot is, you know, Niall's not here, but, you know, Liam is a big football fan, right? Loves the Bengals. Because I think there's something special about a son and dad trip. Liam's your nephew, right? He's just a great kid. And I would like to see that. You know, me and you, Gary, we've lived a sterile existence, so we don't have kids, but we can live through Niall. But I've thought about that a bit. Like, how cool would that be if we went to Cincinnati?
That'd be great.
Because if Liam came, Niall would have to come. So, you know.
I can tell you how we actually did a trip to Notre Dame Stadium years ago with Dick and a friend of his. Niall, myself, and Liam. It was for Liam's birthday. It was so much fun to see basically 3 generations. And Liam and his grandfather were so close that they sat down in the good seats. Niall and I were up in the nosebleeds. Dave, I don't know where he was. He was just drunk, so it really didn't matter. So, but it was one of those road trips where as we're driving out, Liam got the idea. Let's stop at the NFL. We're going through Cleveland. Let's stop at the NFL Hall of Fame. Okay, did that, and it was just one of those things that we do. It's Let's bring it up. Let's have a good time. So it's a lot of fun. And I think he's going to be great for it. My kids are a little older now, so they're on their own lives, and I can't get that right now. And I kind of lost that, I guess. Me and my son Mikey, he's a football fan. We've gone to Rutgers and we'll go to football games and do whatever, but not be able to establish a tradition because now they're not established for kids, but they're working, they're trying to find themselves to doing whatever. And I'm busy also. I'm not guilty of it also, but I think it's very important that we have something
on the calendar.
On the calendar, yes, absolutely.
With traditions and trips, when I was a kid, my dad would take, we talk about football, would take me to St. James's. And I remember, it was a metro in Newcastle, like getting on a train from some pokey little farm town in Bristol. You get on, be packed, that smell of alcohol. Football fans are funny, they're jokes, and that atmosphere going to the stadium. And then, so a few years ago, we took my nephews, and they were like at that age, 8 to 10. And we went to St. James's and we took the metro, and it was packed, and they were a bit freaked out. And my uncle met us. My uncle was always had a bet, so he put a bet on. They don't know where he's gone. He comes back, gives them a betting slip. It's not online.
Written on a card.
Yeah, written on the paper. They've got a bet, and they were just. So that for me was like, they experienced what I experienced as a kid. So I hope that if they have kids, they would take their kids to St. James's and ride the metro.
I hope we can carry this one going.
Yeah, I think we're in a good place.
I don't want to be the only one, but you've got no choice.
I'll be here.
But you know what? This is 9 years now. I think it'd be nice to do something big next year for 10 years of doing it. But
when's Nashville Stadium opening up?
Once that Nashville Stadium opens, you better believe I'm going down there like the naked cowboy.
We'll have 20 guys there, that's for sure.
Definitely.
There's some part of me though thinks we should only go to Jets games.
No. I've been to 2 Jets games on this little jaunt in 9 years, and both times they've lost. And the one time we got the best seats, better than last year at Miami 2-3 years ago. This absolute, what can only be crowded as a prick. He was sat down. He had a sombrero on his back and a cap on his head, and the prick stood up in front of me. Not only was that bad, he sat down long enough for me to see Zach Wilson get absolutely drilled at the 2-yard line, and then the game was over. I spent the rest of the game in the concourse getting abused off Dolphins fans. So fuck the Dolphins.
So we're not going to the Jets then?
We're not going to any Jets games.
Okay. Fuck you last year.
First of all, thank you for taking the time. I know you weren't going to get tomorrow morning. We weren't going to get you tomorrow morning. And I know we've only just got here, but thank you for indulging me in this podcast. Now, before we talk about before we go to every bar in Houston and put Radiohead on before we leave, Dave Prager will love that if he's listening to it. We went to a bar and they were a bit, arsey. So I'm like, okay, I'll see. So I just loaded up my TouchTunes account and just put about 5 Radiohead songs on, and we just walked out and then left them to it. Karma Police for 3 hours.
Went to another bar, and as we were walking back past that bar an hour later, it was still playing.
I love radio.
No, I'm not on a Saturday night.
No. It was raining that night too.
Yeah, it was miserable in the middle of a tropical storm. Anyway, before we go, quick 5 questions.
To who? Me or Mike?
You,
Michael's out. He's done his time. Favorite place in America?
Yellowstone Park.
Show off. Favorite city in America?
New York.
One song that you could listen to all the time and never get bored?
Radiohead Codex. It's a beautiful song. Check it out.
It was that on Morrissey. In my head, I had that on Morrissey. Miserable song. All right. If you eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Cheddar cheese, brass and pickle sandwiches with Quaver chips.
It's actually. Oh, it's a thing. Proper. That's proper, to be fair.
That's the first, when I go home to England, that's the first thing I eat. My mum would be so annoyed. Wants to make me food. Wants to make me casserole. I'm like,
which team do you hate more? Bristol City, Sunderland.
Bristol City.
Right, fair enough.
Ask Kev. Says my head in. But they started strong this year, so I was getting nervous. But they fucked it up now. So I
They had a
feel
big
alright.
fight at Millwall the other day, didn't they?
It would be. I would get rid of my TV if they got promoted. I couldn't bear. I just couldn't
amazing.
bear it. I couldn't bear it. And I'm even keeled, Gary.
Apparently hates Bristol City.
What's your biggest pet peeve? Biggest American pet peeve that you can't really understand?
I think my pet peeve is when people like spend time and energy complaining about things that are so trivial. I just think, God, your life must be so great. Someone parks in the wrong spot, has no impact on you whatsoever, and you're going to phone the police. Like,
I'm kind of glad he lives in Tucson.
I was on a bike ride. It's called a race, but it's really a tour, whatever. It's a 62-mile race, and we came to this hill. It was windy, and everyone slowed down. And not everyone. People were all shapes and sizes. Some people were struggling up this hill. A woman went past us and said, "How are these people going to finish this race? They can't even get up this hill." She's on a fucking electric bike. And all I could think of was like, it's great that they're out. I just can't.
I've got sticks in the desert. You can just chuck one in between.
Yeah. So anyway, pet peeves are people who complain about things that are just irrelevant.
All right.
I got one.
Oh, yeah.
Chocolate or crisps?
Oh, yeah. Crystal chocolate.
Chocolate, easy.
What particular chocolate? Is there a bar of chocolate?
Well, dairy milk would be my go-to in England.
Okay. All right. Now, if Peter Dinklage was booked, who would play you in the movie?
The other guy called Warwick. If Peter Dinklage was booked, they wouldn't make the movie, Gary. Like, what's the point?
They just phone you. Do it yourself. Lads, thank you very much. Let's A, win the Powerball, B, go and have a slap-up grill, and then go to the darts.
Nice, Gary.
Nice one, lads.
Good.
Nice you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you or someone you know has a story to share, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us via our socials or visit www.crossingthepondpodcast.com to get in touch. Please be sure to subscribe, like, or leave a comment if you can. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
The Cross Pond Podcasting.